Welcome to the Guinto Bros podcast. My name is Car Guinto, and here with me today is Kendall Guinto.
What's up?
And our regular special guest, and he is very drunk right now.
Oh, don't lie to the people, man.
What's your name?
Jericho.
Jericho Belmonte. Okay.
Well,
And our actual special guest is Nicole Haverda, aka Havs.
Oh, you guys are so tight. I feel so special.
So this podcast is for the politically incorrect, ignorant, or downright stupid commentary by the Guinto Bros and the few that roll with us. So today we're kind of interviewing and discussing Nicole's or Havs' career thus far. Anybody want to start this off?
Kendall. Well, I mean, if I have to start it off,
Yeah, I agree.
I think music is something that's very important in
Right?
the world,
We can all agree with that, right?
It's motivates us. Sometimes it helps people get over things.
Right.
Explains our feelings when there's none.
All the feels.
Right? So, I mean, music is important. So, if you're a musician, you're obviously trying to tell your story to the world.
So what's everybody's genre of choice then? For me, it's hip hop, obviously. Kendall?
Yeah, hip hop, R&B. I like a bit of pop. Top 40 is good. Like
Right.
just turning on the radio.
Jam-
driving,
Definitely slow
work,
jams.
yeah.
That's my shit.
Slow jams is your shit?
Slow jams, R&B,
I'm not bad.
hip hop. It depends though. Depends on the mood. It's situational.
Yes.
Situational,
Hashtag.
of course.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. My mood always changes.
So
my
Nicole,
genre
what's
always
your,
changes.
if you were to be in a genre, like what would you like categorize yourself if you want to be in a category or not?
Well, I mean, I'm not really, kind of all over the place, but mostly my style is hip hop, I guess, and R&B. I don't know. I kind of let just people decide what I am.
So to be like almost like they can be the judge of your genre.
Yeah,
Right.
it's however they perceive it,
Yeah.
I guess.
Like
Because it
how-
could sound
I
poppy,
agree.
but it could sound
That's
hip
pretty
hoppy.
good.
Like how I feel about her, like obviously I'm a huge fan of her music. I'm like being
Oh.
honest right there, and I
you're
listen
number
to
one,
it on my
man.
free time. So
Number one listener.
I know.
and it
for
like
real.
I was working out to it today, and I
See
felt
the
that
views, though.
everything was like it felt like energized, even if it was slow or not.
Mm.
And it wasn't any cat. It was like all pop, hip hop, and rap. So it kind of blends everything together.
Yeah, it becomes more like a versatile.
Versatile, right?
Kind of like it kind of makes this new genre of music that kind of mixes everything together.
Right. It's either just really good or it's not, right? Like it's not just like, hey, you can't listen to this if you're a fan of just country
One thing,
or.
but I think nowadays music has changed into a different category altogether.
Yeah, I think everything's just like a blend. Like
Kind of like a mashup of everything, right?
Because like Maroon 5, like they're not strictly just like a rock band, right? Like they're kind of like
Right.
pop
Like,
rock
yeah,
with
That's
a
true.
bit of like R&B.
and
There's
they
some
feature
jazz,
like,
soul.
And they
Yeah.
feature like what? Like Future, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Like,
But they
I
also
agree.
do like
SZA and
whatever
stuff, like alternative.
whatever will make the most money, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
I guess they're more. Yeah, kind of like mainstream.
And everyone's like throwing in Ed Sheeran into their music too now.
Oh, and this
All
is
genres.
Janelle Toth, by the way. She's also a voice on this podcast.
Yeah.
So if you confuse the white females, it's Janelle and Nicole.
And now I'm drunk.
Sick.
So
We
Nicole,
accept all race, by the way.
On the topics of genres, actually, I started out doing like covers of like Taylor Swift. So I mean, very.
Yo, I'll fuck with
diverse.
T.
Yo, T
though,
Swizzle?
man.
Wait, did you guys listen to her mixtape Leviathan? Leviathan. That's how you say
Leviathan,
it.
yeah.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's-
Chachito.
Well, it's basically a cover of a bunch of famous
Oh,
songs.
T.
Right?
Swizzle?
Yeah, we tried to make it like kind of mainstream songs, but like remixes, I guess.
Yeah.
And then some
That makes sense.
original
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like kind of like a mixtape, right?
That's yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Right.
my like view of a mixtape.
So
Hashtag SoundCloud.
let's start off, I guess, from the
Yeah.
beginning of your career. So how did you get into the music industry and why, actually?
Oh, the beginning of my career. Well, my mom's an opera singer, so I would like sing with her.
That's new.
Yeah, nobody really knows that, but yeah, she was like kind of locally well known in Slovakia where she grew up, which is super random. But then she moved here, and she kind of like she kept singing opera in like Czech clubs and folkloramas and stuff like that.
Right.
Like cultural events, I guess. And then I would just like randomly sing with her, not opera. So there was like this little kid on stage, but yeah. And then I tried out for Urban Star. It was when Canadian Idol got canceled, and Urban Star was like I think they were trying to, like, my understanding was that they were trying to replace it. But I didn't know that it was only, like, I mean, Urban Star, I guess the name kind of gives it away, but I was in grade 9 and I sang a Taylor Swift song, and I was wearing, like, a pink shirt with flowers on it. And everyone else was, like, rappers and, like, straight hip-hop. And I was just on the stage, like, well, I'm going to be singing Taylor Swift, and then, yeah.
So
and then I just blew up after that.
Oh, how did that experience just, like, change everything? Like, since you were, like, hey, you sang Taylor Swift at an urban
I mean, I stood
show,
out.
right? You stood out.
Yeah, which is good. I always try to stand out. But it was, like, the beginning of my networking, I guess.
Really?
So I got to network with a lot of people. Like, Belly was this judge for that.
Yeah.
Belly.
I remember that, yo.
Now he's, like, I fucking love Belly. But, yeah. Now, looking back, I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have, like, loved him then as much as I love him now. But
So you can connect.
Isn't he OVO?
yeah.
Yeah, he signed to. No, he signed to Rock Nation. I think.
Rock Nation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how did you transition from, I guess, singing like Taylor Swift songs to going to like rapping and like hip hop, R&B
I don't know.
kind of style?
I really don't know. Like, I always fucked with hip hop.
Yeah.
But I just never thought that I could actually, like, sing raps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I started doing it as, like, I did it as a YouTube cover. I did Mac Miller, Another Night. I don't know if you guys know Mac Miller.
Yeah.
But that was, like, a big song back
Ariana's boy.
in the day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone knows him because he's dating Ariana now.
Yeah,
but he's, like, I love him. Always loved him. But, yeah, I sang something that he rapped, and then my friends were like, oh, that's sick, and then I was like, oh, I guess I can do this, you know?
So did a lot of, like, your reason to go, I don't know if all in, but a lot of your life into your music was because people thought you were talented or good, or is it just like, hey, I just want to do this and just keep going until I see an end or whatever, or if there's no end, you just want to keep going?
Are you asking what her motivation is, or?
Well, like, what kept her from making, like, keep going from just like, hey, I want to be in a talent show to just pursue just music, right?
I used to do it just for fun, like talent shows. It was just like, I just fucked around, and it was just like a fun hobby, and I never really took it seriously because, like, to be honest, most of my high school, I kind of, like, if I have one regret in life, it's that I, like, got drunk too much in high school, and I partied too much in high school, and I focused less on my music,
Right.
which I could have started much earlier, but then at the same time, I don't know if I would even know what I'm doing if I start earlier, but,
Right.
so it used to be just for fun, and then, last year, at the start of 2017, I got the chance to open for Sunreal,
Right.
and that, like, changed my whole perspective, because I saw, like, who was there for me, and I saw who supported me, and I saw, like, people's, I guess, reactions to it, and a lot of them were negative reactions, and I just kind of realized that, I don't know, like, that just was the turning point for me. I was like, I need to do this for the rest of my life, or try to, at least. So that was the big thing for me. And then ever since then, I've just been, like, going hard and trying to, like, put everything into it. So,
Right. So, like, you mentioned that your mom was, like, an opera singer. Was, like, she your first inspiration in getting into music, or was there just, like, an artist out there that made you, like, want to not like have that sound, or
Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff is your inspiration?
Yes, Hilary
Was it
Duff.
Lizzie
Oh,
McGuire?
Lizzie McGuire movie? 'Cause,
Right? So good.
That's a good movie.
I like wore her
Yo.
shit. She had that Stuff by Duff line. I like her shit. I like listened. I had all her CDs. I went to her concert. It was she was. But like my mom, obviously,
Right.
I was around that growing up, so I just saw a lot of it. I was exposed to a lot of singing.
Right.
But Hilary Duff, man, Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Like,
She was my first like inspiration. Like I wanted to be like her.
oh shit, that's surprising for me. Like I thought it would be obviously like a hip hop artist. Or,
No, Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff. Like I'm a fan of Hilary Duff. Obviously.
Yo,
What's
man,
up?
Lizzie McGuire, yo.
Yeah.
Man.
What's that song? This is the Stuff both.
Bad.
That's Hannah Montana, by
Oh, yo.
But yeah, I fuck with
Oh
Hannah
my
Montana
God.
too.
the way. It's like,
Okay,
hey
okay,
now,
okay.
hey now.
It is Hey Now.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
right,
it.
okay.
No, but as for hip hop, I never grew up listening.
Hannah
Like I
Montana.
wasn't exposed to any hip hop until I was in like grade 8.
Well,
So-
what song or artist inspired you in grade 8?
Mac Miller.
Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Mac Miller.
Shit. That's,
Party on
Number
Fifth
one.
Ave.
Still to this
That was a
day.
good fucking
Right.
song.
He's so creative. Like his mind is crazy.
Yeah.
Why don't
Blows
think you? Why don't you think Mac Miller blew up like other artists? Right? Because he's kind of like low key, right?
He blew up with Party on Fifth Ave.
Yeah,
That
but he's
song
kind of
came
low
out-
key right now. So
He
what do
kind
you-
of
Right now
did
he's
blow
low
up
key.
like in America, I want to say, but even actually everywhere he blew
Wasn't
up.
he? Is he part of T.I.'s?
no.
No.
Grand
No, he's
Hustle?
not.
No.
He's not Grand
No.
Hustle.
He's not Grand
Is
Hustle.
he Taylor again?
No,
He's
this is
No, he's
Ross.
by himself, I think.
He's
He was
Pittsburgh
Ross
for
from
sure.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but he's not Grand Hustle.
No, he's not.
No.
I thought he was. No? No.
So like when you're creating like, obviously you're creating music right now. Like when did you start just writing down songs or music? Or
Actually,
lyrics?
in elementary school, I like always tried to start a band, but I just did not have the resources because I was like
Right.
10 years old. But I would like at recess time put like together a bunch of people, and there was this like tree, and I was like, okay, everyone,
There's
there's
a
gonna be a
central
concert
tree.
at the tree. And then yeah, we would like do that, and then I had a piano. Like I took piano lessons when I was in grade 4, I think. And then so I would just like kind of compose my own shit on the piano, because I was like when I stopped taking lessons, because it just like wasn't, it was like classical stuff, and that wasn't
Right.
like what I was into. Like I was, but not like singing wise. So
Right.
yeah, I would just like start composing my own shit and like making shitty songs.
So
And
like
then-
with the lyrics, like whatever with the song, what motivations did you have to put into the song, right? Like experiences or just like what you saw in daily life?
just basic shit. Like actually, I don't know. It just came to my mind. I don't even know where it came from, to be honest. It was like love songs, and like it wasn't anything too crazy.
So you pretty much like saying that everything is like your motivation. You kind of gather everything from different genres or whatever.
Yeah,
Kind of make your own thing.
everything that I see like in life. Like I have on my phone, I have an app, Evernote. I don't know if you guys fucking know
Evernote,
what that
yeah.
app.
Yeah.
I just like have a bunch of different notes.
Like when you come across something, you just kind of make a note.
Yeah,
of
and
it.
like
Right.
each one has a different theme. So I just like write shit down if I like think of something. Yeah.
When did you like decide, hey, I'm Halves now. I'm the artist Halves. In this music business now. Like what got you to that point where you decided this is my name and I'm gonna be this artist?
Like when did you become the entity that
yeah.
you wanted to be called Halves?
Well, when I started working with Peshan,
Right.
he has a long as fuck like his name is Peshan, like his full name.
Right.
So it's a long name, and then plus his last name, and then my last name is long, like Haverda.
Right.
So our songs were like Nicole Haverda and Peshan Canoe. Like it's just way
Yeah,
too
yeah.
fucking long. So
Yeah.
we're like, we need to shorten this somehow. So I was like, I was joking around one day because we were talking about merch, and I was like, PeshxHavs, and then he's like, that's actually good. I was like,
So it's something that you guys just kind of ran with, like something that spontaneously came up and then
Yeah.
you guys ran with.
was
like
this
actually
because
out
of
of
like
nowhere.
Supreme X something? Because I knew that.
Or
No.
it could be like
No,
it could be just collaborations.
Right.
Yeah.
It just like was 4 letters and 4 letters, and then I just put I don't even
Kind
know.
of fits,
It was
right?
like kind of a joke, but it actually
It just stuck.
yeah.
I think a lot of things come from just like
Mhm.
fucking around.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
happy accident, right?
Like when we made Team Developmental, it was a
Yo, shout out to Team man.
it was a joke at
Dude.
first, just to like savor something, and then it just
Yeah.
like
It kind of became this thing that I kind of ran with. So.
yeah, Jericho ran
Yeah.
with that. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Well, yeah. So how did you and Pesh, how did you guys start collaborating with each
Yeah,
other?
link
Like, how
up.
did you meet
Yeah,
him?
what's
How
the-
did
what's the
you-
backstory?
And like, how did you decide to like we're gonna run together for
Yeah.
this situation?
So back to Urban Star days. He saw me on Urban Star and he hit me up on Facebook and was like, we should work together. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I totally forgot that happened. And then like 2 years later, I was like super desperate to record and I couldn't find the resources. I like looked into studios, but everything, if you don't know people, it's like $1,000 to record a song. Well, more than $1,000. It was like some guy quoted me like $5,000 to do one song. I was like, fuck that. I'm like
Yeah, it's too
15. Like, no thanks. So I got this shitty like $100 mic, and I started recording on that. And I like looked up YouTube tutorials on how to like edit my voice properly so it doesn't sound like I'm like a shitty like phone recording. And it still sounded pretty shitty, but I did it and I like released a cover to Exchange by Bryson Tiller
Yeah.
on like SoundCloud. It was like my first song. And then I guess Pashan was like, man, this girl's struggling. So he's like hit me up again and is like, you want to work? And then I was like, yeah, sure. And then I didn't even know that we talked before. Like I completely forgot about it. And then I like looked at our Facebook history thing because he's like, yeah, we didn't get to last time. I'm like, what? And then, yeah, it was like 2 years ago. Like prior to that, we were supposed to work. And then I just went over to his house and we recorded a song. I was supposed to be a hook on one of his songs.
Right.
And then we just started making our own songs and it just, I don't know, we just worked well together.
Right. And like he was already an established artist at the point, like in Winnipeg at least.
He was with Heatbag.
Oh, right.
Oh wow, heat bag.
Yeah. Well, because like we're from that area where like
Yo, that's awesome.
yeah, he big like Dustin.
Yeah, like he's been doing this for like years, like I think a decade.
A lot of the Heat big
Shout
guys.
out FO.
Yeah, they were in they're from our
Dustin,
area.
yo. Dustin and Zed, yo.
Yes. So yeah.
Probably homies.
Right. So like he was established, and then he wanted to bring you up to like get your career started, I guess, right?
I think he was like changing his sound a bit, and he wanted a female vocalist.
Right.
And he probably like saw my shit on Facebook and was like, "Oh, like she's okay for like a shitty mic, you know." And then
Yeah.
we started working together, and then we were just vibing.
So what was your first project or release that made it official for you two? Because right now you guys still run as PeshxHavs, right? So
yeah, well, we're both working on our separate shit.
right.
It's kind of like that's like the collective,
Right.
but we still have our separate, I guess, artist names, if you will.
Yeah.
But we kind of, I don't know, I went back there one day, like in the summertime, and we made like 2 songs, and then like every time I went back there, we were there for like 7 hours at a time, like 5 hours at a time, like all night, and we would go through we would do like legit 7 songs in a night. They weren't all finished and like perfected, but that was kind of how stuff started going, and then after that we just kept working together. Just happened.
Is it always just like flowing and it's all good, or is it just like there's some times where it's like, hey, we're gonna clash on this stuff, but we're determined just to like push this through and be as a collective?
Well, when I first started, I was very passive, so I was just like, yeah, like we do it this way. I never really like argued anything, but now that I like have my kind of brand established, or I'm trying to establish it, I kind of like when things are done a certain way, and I'm such a perfectionist, so I'm always like, oh, I need to redo this like one word, you know.
Right.
And like his cousin Dre,
Right.
He produced like I think 3 or 4. He produced Mile High. He produced Better Days on Not an EP.
Yeah.
And he's fucking crazy too. Like he makes crazy beats. And he came into town. He's from Pittsburgh. He came into town 2 weeks ago, I think. And we all like linked up again because the only time I've ever really worked with him was on those 2 songs. Right. And then the one song he wasn't even here for. So he came into town, and then we were trying so hard to like work on something, but all of our brains were just like fried and we couldn't think of anything. We were there for like 5 hours. Finally came up with a beat, and yeah, then we made like a hook for it. But that's it. Like sometimes it doesn't always flow so good, but
so that process, like just for like, even if you record 7 songs in one night, it's not like it's finished. But when you decide like we're gonna release this song but not that song and whatnot, it has to fit both of what you feel is appropriate, or
that's what I mean. Like we both usually agree. Like if I'll write a verse to a song, he can match it to exactly how I feel, and I'm just like, what the fuck? How did you do that? Like you read my mind, kind of thing. And then it's the same, like the opposite way too. So that's what I mean by we just like work well together. That it just always we're like, yeah, we're releasing that. Like I'll be like, okay, let's release that, and then he's just down because like he was thinking the same thing. Yeah,
because like when I listen to your music, like everything flows together. You're just creating this story, or you base this on a particular topic, and that's why I feel you guys are. I think you guys are better than where you are. Well, I mean, you guys obviously have growth, and you're growing and continue to grow. But for me, even though I know you, I feel that if it's great music, it should be heard like by a lot of other people, and like without my relationship or how I know you personally, I feel like it's good enough to be. It's better than where you are right now. I don't want to sound negative, but I think it's that good that it should be heard by a lot of people. I don't know what I'm not trying to say, but I think it's very good stuff. Even though we know each other, and I'm kind of biased to that, but
like even if you weren't friends, you would still be like,
right,
I want to listen to this because it's good shit.
Yeah, like
I also think that she has a unique sound too. So.
Yeah,
right. So.
Well, I mean that's what I'm going for. So that's good. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys.
And yeah, so like, what was the first music video that you created? Like, of course, you need like more than one platform. Like, it's not just the audio or the music, right? You need
there's a lot
to put into like a music video or marketing to your stuff.
Yeah,
like, how's the process with that?
So this year, like 2018, I've been focusing. 2017, I've really focused on doing shows and like exposure. So we were doing like 4 shows a month. We did like, I think I counted like around 20 shows that year, and it was super busy, and I was like, I can't do that again this year and still focus on other shit. So I really wanted to focus on visuals this year. So it was actually kind of funny, like this, like on New Year's Day, it started out like I was throwing up all day, like it was fucked, but it was like a very humbling experience because I just like realized a lot of things. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it was I realized a lot of shit.
I mean, it's
while I was like sitting there,
like throwing up.
It's from alcohol.
Yeah, that's from the night before.
Why were you sick though? Like, were you hungover? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did your light flash before your eyes?
I just like realized that I need more visuals and that I need to like what I need to focus on. So like the next day I woke up and I like have my notebook where I like have my like plans and shit, and I just like wrote a bunch of shit down. And like every month I have certain goals that I try to accomplish, I guess. So I was like, well, we wanted to do Mile High like a while ago, but then it finally came out in February, which I was waiting for months for that to be done. It was hard to edit like a storyline,
right?
And I can't even like talk because Garrett did most of it, like the guy that filmed it. He edited the whole storyline part, and then I came over and we did like we finished it up, I guess. But my very first music video was to a song called "Do It All."
Right.
You probably never heard it because
It's on your YouTube.
Yeah, I think it was private for a bit though. But
I saw it this morning.
did you? Oh shit! You did your research.
Oh, did research.
But yeah, that was me and my friend Christine. We were like.
Oh, who's Christine again? Just kidding. I already know who she is.
She's my neighbor. But yeah, we've been friends since like kindergarten. And she's crazy with visuals. And she got a new camera, something like that. I don't know. We just wanted to do a visual.
Right.
So I was like, I have 2 songs, so we got to pick one of them. So we picked "Do It All," and then since it was like 0 budget, we tried to make it as captivating as it could possibly be. So we just did a lot of like weird shit, and we were like, I was in a fur coat, and I don't know, no storyline at all. But the song has a lot of meaning, because it's about like people trying to tell you how to be and what to do, and that's kind of what I tried to avoid. Because I don't know, for me, like, I'm mostly fans of more underground artists just because I feel like they're more themselves. They're not being told what to do, like, to an extent, I mean.
Yeah,
that's
what every independent artist, right? Once you get to commercial, you're going to have to cater to other people or the business itself. Yeah, like your manager, agents, managers, like the producers. And they want to categorize you as something. They want to give you like a specific sound for...
I want my brand to reflect who I actually am.
Selling music or selling their songs. Because like, "Do It All," well, you're under Nicole Haverda. You're not Havs yet.
Yeah, well, I think, wasn't I even like Nicole Haverda or something?
Right.
I don't even know. It was
established yet.
Yeah, that was like before I even met Sean, I think.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. But, yeah. That was my first video.
Oh, yeah, so, how long did, the filming of the Miles High music video take for you guys? Yeah, and, like, was the whole process, like, creatively and getting all the shots together?
So I started, I think, in May. It was released in February. So we started planning it in May. Garrett approached me and was like, "Hey, do you wanna..." I went to school with Garrett since like junior high.
Right.
But I never knew he did like visuals and filming and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
he approached me and was like, "Hey, I want to do a video for you. Are you down?" I was like, "Yeah." So we met up and we talked about it, and then we did Swerve,
right,
which turned into just like a little Instagram video, and then we tried to do one of my songs, "Segway." It's not on like any of my stuff, but it's released on like a Winnipeg mixtape.
Right.
But it's out somewhere out there. We tried to do that song, that didn't work out, and then Mile High we recorded, and I was like, yes, I want a music video to that.
Yeah.
So I planned that out, and I wanted there to be like a storyline. So we tried to do the storyline of like a very like ironic kidnapping.
Yeah.
And then I told everyone to show up. I made like a Facebook status that I needed extras. People showed up to the spot. It was actually really successful that day. And then we did just like the verse filming.
Yeah.
And then I told everyone it was like 80s theme. But my friend Carlos shows up like in a straight up blue jumpsuit and like a fanny pack.
He was like, he was a main kidnapper.
Yeah, but he wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
But I was like, we need to do something about this. Like, that's crazy. That's awesome. So I was like, wear this balaclava. And then, he became the kidnapper.
In that video? Was there like some... Is there someone in this room in this video? Was there like...
Regular special guest.
Yeah. Oh, Jericho was in this video.
Yo, watch that video, man.
He was wearing... So how did this guy get included? Yeah.
Because all my kidnappers bailed on me last minute.
And Jericho is dependable.
And then Jericho saved the day.
And he looks like a kidnapper.
And he looks like a kidnapper.
3 people agree. He looks like that typical guy that would kidnap females.
Yeah.
What's that?
I mean, his big
I
debut.
disagree.
But yeah, like...
Yeah, thank you for that.
How long did it take for you to, like, record everything and get it all... Well, obviously the process to, like, edit was long, but, like, for that day...
The first day, when we did, like, the verses and stuff, That took from, I think it was like 6 till 9 or 10-ish.
Yeah.
So.
And did you have to book like every spot, or like you
No.
had to work with like the traffic or whatever?
No, so we found like a kind of secluded spot kind of at the end of Wellington.
Yeah.
It's like some random spot under the bridge that nobody knows about, except for these 3 guys on motorcycles apparently.
Yeah.
That I like rolled up in my Sunfire, and I was like, hey, like I saw them on their bikes. I was like, that'd be so sick for a music video. And then I was like, hey, you want to be in a music video? And they're like, sure. So it just like worked out so perfect.
Right.
But that day, like everything just fell into place perfectly. And then the next time we had to do the kidnapping scene, which was like in September already. So the first scene was in August. The next one was in September. And then the editing took a while initially, and then like because Garrett's in school, I'm in school, everyone's busy with their normal lives and their day jobs. So in the January, I think it was, we started editing, and then I just like I was there for like 4 hours on the last day. I was like, we need to just finish this. So, and then we just finished it, and then I made a release date for like half a month after.
So you came up with the whole kidnap scenario and everything, right?
Yeah.
Was there any alternatives to that would, like, you wanted to... Did you pick the kidnap scene because it was more practical, or this is what creatively it felt a little bit better? Was there any other plans or scenarios you wanted to do for the video?
Well, it was initially supposed to be like some crazy plot twist. Like I was supposed to have a guy, Pesh was supposed to have a girl.
Right.
But then that didn't work out. Well, it kind of did, but it was like super unplanned because that guy was just on a bike, like, randomly there. But it was supposed to be like, I don't even remember. It was supposed to be some crazy plot twist where my guy was like kidnapped his girl. I don't even know.
Right.
But yeah, and then it just turned out to be kind of like a random, arbitrary, like you kind of decide what happens, which is what I like to do. Yeah. Usually, to let people kind of decide for themselves.
With the song Mile High particularly, like, what was like the inspiration to that? What, like, because for me the song means that you're feeling some type of way, that you feel like it's like you're in Mile High, you're feeling like you're all the way up in the sky, right? So if you're feeling like all these kind of ideas about a person, what inspired you to get to that point and write that?
So we were in the res, finishing up our album, and I don't know, I was just like doing my thing, like, you know, drinking and all those things. Yeah. And I was making dinner with Christine. Yeah. And he played that beat, and I was like, it was just looped. We were listening to it over and over, and then I just came up with the hook, because it's like kind of like a generic hook, but also not. And then I recorded it, and yeah, I don't know. The lyrics just flowed after that.
Just came to you, eh?
Yeah, it just came to me.
So when you were drunk and you're like, stay over with me, spend the night with me.
Oh,
you just brought that to your head when you were alone.
Should we do a remix?
I like this probing.
Remix is called Guinto?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what brought you to that. I mean, I guess it just could be anything, right? But
it's about, like, I don't know, people starting out as however you want to start out, and then you catch the feels, and boom. That's okay. That. And then you have Mile High.
Right. Okay.
I don't know, it's more like a fun song, because I started out with a lot of, like, serious, like, more darker beats and stuff like that, like, feels, I don't know, it's just very serious to me, and I just wanted to kind of have a contrast of, well, I always like to have a contrast of lighter listening, and then also like the more emotional stuff, which is kind of also what my coming up album is gonna be like. So
okay.
Yeah.
So like, let's go back to like doing like performances in front of an audience or something. Like, how is that booking and getting yourself out there just to perform in public? Like, is it difficult, or you have to connect to a bunch of people just to get you on?
Networking is huge because my first show was in Brandon, super random. I traveled out to Brandon because MGK was coming to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And this was at the time that I was filming the Do It All music video. And I was like, how do people open for him? Because I remember, like, White Rhino, he's on one of my tracks.
Yeah.
Dangerous, yo. That's
oh, you guys already know.
TBH, yo, that's my favorite track.
That's your favorite, Dangerous? Okay, well, let's go back to that. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about your album.
Yeah, my stories are boring. But no, I asked him basically how because he opened up for MGK, I remember, and I was like, how did you get to do that? And then he made a status, like, kind of shouting me out that I'm looking to do shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And then one of the promoters from Brandon hit me up, and then I got on that, and then I found out Sunreal was coming here. I was like, I need to get on this, because, like, I've fucked with Sunreal since, like, for a long time. Like, when I was younger.
Yeah.
And so then I, like, harassed the guy that owns Park Theater, basically, and I was like, no, I need to be on this, and then let me be on it, and then it just, people just, like, asked me to be on shows after that, and I got lucky, I guess, with that, like, that they wanted me on their shows, and then me and Peshon got offered to headline at the Park Theater, like, to do our own show last April, and then, so that was a big opportunity, too.
Are there any upcoming, like, performances that you want us and the audience to look forward to?
There's not. I don't have anything planned right now for performance-wise.
Right.
I have nothing planned. I have, like, a bunch of visuals planned and stuff like that, but, you know, performances, I just had my last one in February, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, do you have any specific, like, preparation or rituals before getting on stage for these live performances?
Other than drinking?
Well,
just
like,
to, like, calm down
I like to
and
have a
be
couple
comfortable
drinks.
and stuff? Yeah.
I like to do yoga that day.
Oh.
I always try to do yoga. Sometimes I work before a show, but I try to have the day off.
You should tell
I'm usually good with getting the day off, but, like, I mean, I need to work, so gotta make money.
Okay.
But I like to try to find time to do yoga the day of, because it just
helps you relax.
Yeah, and it inspires me.
It gets you in a mindset, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go back to Dangerous.
Wait,
no, there'll be time for that, I think.
Is there?
Yeah, because we'll talk about your current album or recent album.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, PeshxHavs.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Not an EP.
Anyways, so let's get into some, like, general questions first, and then we'll go back to non-EP. What are your, like, favorite artists for, not even inspiration, just, like, who do you want to listen to? Like, what's your main?
Actually, let's do general. Let's, like, your top 5 favorite artists all time.
All time.
Oh my god, they always change, except for Mac Miller.
Miller.
Yeah, you already know.
So he's in your top 5 automatically.
Yeah,
I took note.
Yeah. Yeah, she listens.
I got you.
Evernote plug.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him too, so.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, respect.
Okay. Yeah, Mac Miller, because he's always changing and he's so creative. I could go on, but his shit is always different, but it's always good.
Right.
And, like, some of his shit is, like, really real and, like, it really makes you think and, like, very philosophical.
Yeah.
But some of it's, like, very, like, his last album is very, I guess, simple, if you will, but complex at the same time.
Were you at his concert when he came here a few years ago?
Of course.
Right.
That was at the Garrick, and then ever since then I've been wanting to perform at the Garrick, and I finally did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, I was there. It was awesome.
But I also really like Joey Badass right now.
Yeah.
For the past, like, little while.
I think he's always good as far as, like, rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And he
never
keeps
really
it,
been
like,
bad.
real too.
Keeps it real, yeah.
Yeah.
Joey Badass is good shit.
Right.
And I really fuck with Rihanna.
Right.
Yeah, Rihanna.
Bad girl
Riri.
Riri.
Bad girl Riri.
For, like, mainstream, that, like, yeah, definitely Rihanna. I don't know who else. I really like Halsey right now, actually.
Oh, she's so hot.
Yeah,
She's
really good.
Carmen say she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Stop it. You love that she's like power couple with G-Eazy.
Yeah, I like G-Eazy too. I liked him. I used to be like a really big fan of G-Eazy. I still am, but
Right.
yeah. Who else? I don't know. It's always changing, so yeah.
So, what do you think of like I don't know if there's an resurgence of female rappers. Like there's Cardi, obviously,
for sure, yeah.
and there's Nicki, obviously. How do you feel about like the female rappers of today in hip hop and R&B and stuff?
I don't really
Since you're like
listen
in that
to
category.
Yeah, you're definitely in that category.
Yeah, you're in the female
You know what? I
rappers.
used to be obsessed with Iggy.
Iggy,
And I
right.
still love her, but not as much as I used to. I used to like really love her. There's these female rappers actually that they have a label in LA, I think it is.
Iggy's kind of out of the game right now, eh? Like she
hasn't been releasing a lot.
No.
The thing is that what kills Iggy is that like mainstream rappers like J. Cole make fun of her.
Yeah, J. Cole was
I love
like
J.
a main
Cole.
thing
A
about.
lot of people make fun
Oh,
of her.
yeah, there's those memes because like you can't understand her lyrics.
Yeah,
and then they try to put
I don't know
subtitles
if
in
you
it
guys
because
know-
you don't know.
Remember
She's
that?
just kind of like
there's a
mumbling
line-
stuff.
There's
Yeah.
there's a line in J. Cole's song about like winning a Grammy or whatever, or something about a joke being something real,
Right.
and it's pretty much about Iggy Azalea.
Because J. Cole doesn't fit into that, like, he's like half commercial, half independent still,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though he's super successful.
Yeah, he has his own
He
following.
has a huge following.
Yeah.
Music's dope.
Yeah.
It's real, right?
As for female rappers, I just came across this Peach House Records. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Babe.
No.
It's have you heard of Blimes Brixton
I've heard of that, yes.
and Gifted Gab?
No. I've heard of the
Okay,
first-
so I just like heard their stuff I think yesterday for the first time.
Right.
And they're crazy. Like I love them. So
So you're trying to connect or what?
yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be sick. But I mean, that's kind of who I've been like for the past day. Kind of like I tried like I've been listening to their stuff and
Yeah.
yeah, so they're really good. As for female rappers,
Yeah. How do you feel like it's 2018, like there's a lot of platforms where you can get your music out there, and obviously compared to like past like eras of hip hop and getting your music out, you feel it's a little bit easier or more difficult? I mean, obviously you can't compare, but like right now you have a lot of chances or opportunities just to get your music out there for free and stuff. How do you think it's changed from year to year or era to era for hip hop to getting out your music?
I don't think it's easier or harder. Like I don't think it's better or worse. It's
Right.
just different.
There's just a lot more, you
And
think?
it's so hard to captivate people and like to get people to like click on your
Right.
shit, you know? Because like
Yeah.
people are so like have such a short attention span. I feel like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's always been like that, but that's just my like how I have kind of seen it. And I don't know. It's hard to like you really have to advertise yourself right, and then if you're the only one advertising yourself, it's like
Yeah.
who the fuck are you, you know? Like, why is no one else advertising your shit? So, it's
Because right now
definitely
you don't
so
have to like
difficult.
pass on mixtapes. You can just like, hey, here's the link to my song.
Yeah, like, it's definitely a lot, I think, easier because of the whole social media aspect, because
Right.
it's easier to connect on, like, the internet and stuff, but, yeah.
Right. So you want to get into not an EP, favorite jams or inspiration? Obviously, like Mile High, I feel is.
Why you keep bringing that up?
Hey, I'm just pointing out a great song that you performed
Okay, well, thank
and
you.
created, right? So
Oh yeah, do you have a favorite in that song, or is it just like
In that album?
like, or in the album? I mean, sorry,
other
or
than
do
Mile
you just
High,
have like
obviously.
obviously you have a bunch because they're your songs, right?
Right.
I have my favorites, yeah, and I have the songs that I I don't know. I really like 3 a.m. Is it 3 a.m.?
4.
4 a.m.
Is that the first track?
It's okay.
I like that you know that.
It's 4.
Well, okay, it
Kara's
used
a
to
true
be.
fan.
It used to be called
Yeah.
Noah, and then we're like, we have to change that because Peshawn watched Noah's Ark when he made that beat, and so
Oh.
I just know it as Noah. I don't know it as like 4 a.m. But anyways, I like that song. That was
Yeah, it's the intro.
fun to make.
Okay.
Obviously Mile High. I like Vibe, One Like You, Reflecting. Yeah, that's the ones I could think of.
Okay, to be honest, I just listened to your album today.
Really?
First listen on
Because he
SoundCloud.
doesn't have
Okay.
Spotify.
I don't have Spotify, yeah, because I switched providers, you know. Yeah.
But what you got now?
Huh?
What do you have now?
I'm on Bell
Well, but
because
like,
I had
do
a
you have
deal with
Apple
Rogers.
Music,
I
or-
don't. No, I don't
What is
have
that?
Apple. Well, this is an
No.
LG G6,
Yeah.
so my favorites were like Dangerous and then Don't Stop.
Oh
I
really?
really like Don't Stop. Yeah, that one's really good.
I forgot about Don't Stop.
Yeah,
That's an old one.
that one because and it has the French Montana sample. So
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I'm like, oh, this is familiar to me. Like and
That was
then
like
I
one
heard
of the
lyrics, and I'm
first
like, oh,
songs.
this is-
So we when you mentioned Dangerous earlier, obviously, but like what the lyrics is like a little different for that one, other than just like, hey, I got these feels for something, whatever. But like, what
I
inspired you to write?
think Dangerous is super relatable.
Right.
A lot of people
Yeah.
like mess with people that they shouldn't probably.
Yeah, but
mess with.
what situation or scenario got you to this? Like, hey, I'm gonna write this down and perform or make a song about this.
You know what? When I got that beat, I wanted to like I had this whole thing planned out, and it was like a completely different. It was like supposed to be some mind fuck shit,
Right.
and then I was like, no, that doesn't work. And then I just came up with these like super generic lyrics that I don't even know where it came from. To be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you. I didn't even like the song at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bashan's like, oh, this song's sick. I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
Right.
And then the day that I like started liking it, we were in Brandon doing a show, and I was like really drunk, and then he drove us to our hotel, and he played it in his car, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty sick. And then started liking it after that. And then it's a lot of people's favorites. Like everyone tells me it's their favorite.
Right.
So I'm like, well, that's good.
I think I got
guess.
hooked on it because I'm pretty sure he played it like multiple times here. So then it got in my ear. I'm like,
Yes.
this sounds familiar. I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I've heard this before and stuff.
Number one fan.
So how long did I guess White Rhino, like how long did his featuring like verse, like how long did it take him to make that verse to put on the song?
Not long. He was very efficient.
Oh.
Like, very fast. And like kept like updating me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was he like in the studios or is it more just like he just sent the?
Yeah, he
the
sent
clip,
it. We
or-
didn't even get the chance to be in the studio together because our lives were busy at the time. But I really wanted him on the track because he's the one that basically got me. I feel like helped me get started. So
Right.
I really wanted him on a track, and then I told Pesh, and he's like, "Sure, I'm down." And then, bam.
So do a lot of your collabs have just like, hey, it's from a distance and you just connect through?
I mean, I don't
Whatever.
really have a lot of collabs.
Okay.
With my Do It All, I think Do It All was the only other collab I had, isn't it? Other than, like, right now, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that one was with another rapper, and we were in the studio together for that one. But, so I guess 50% of my collabs.
Right.
But, yeah, right now I'm, like, trying to get people in the studio with me, because it's just so much better to just, you know, vibe with them and, like, get the feel of the song. And
Yeah.
it's just fun, so...
So your favorite song from the album is which?
4 a.m. Was it 4 a.m.?
No, I don't have a favorite. My emotions always change, so
Right.
my favorite's like always based on how I'm feeling. Like if I really love Feels.
Well, that's my favorite. And
Yeah, I know.
I like those too.
You know, I feel that's
Those are
the
really
more that's the most complete. Like the hook, the lyrics, you Pesh, it's the most complete song out of everything, and it's just like so catchy. Like you could just get it right away. You don't have to be like
Listening
like
to it.
it's not complicated. It's just
Yeah.
like it's there.
So you just get the feels right away.
You get the feels,
Yes.
listen to feels,
Get the feels, listen to the feels.
and it's not even on
You
the
feel
album,
some type
but
of
I
way.
feel like that's like your best song thus far, obviously, but yeah,
I love that song. I love performing it.
right. And for that song, like what? Of course, like a lot of your scenarios before was just like it just came to you. But was there a difference between that song, or was it just
Yeah,
like
that song's real.
process?
That song's like very, I don't know. I was like, at the time, it was very reflective on how I was feeling. So I was creeping Pesh on SoundCloud,
Yeah.
and I heard that beat,
Yeah.
and I messaged him, and I was like, we are doing this song. And he was down, as always. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like No Limits, like that was one of your more recent. Well, I think that is your most recent, is it not? The way that you released that, at least.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's like a solo.
Right.
Oh yeah, that feature I did too. No, he's from the States, so
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to be in the studio with him, unfortunately. But yeah, where's he from? Like Florida or something.
Right.
So yeah, that was fun though. I like that song too. That was fun to record because it's like super fast, and it was definitely out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
was
And when did
different.
you record that? Was that
When?
recent? You're recording for that?
When did I record that? I don't know. It wasn't too recent. Maybe like a year ago. It's like a bit before I released it. 'Cause I released it and I really wanted like someone to feature on it.
Right.
Because it was Kevin Gates inspired.
Yeah.
Super random.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
But
That's,
it was,
It's like I like Kevin Gates a lot, to be honest.
yeah.
right.
Me too.
Free Kevin Gates though.
He's free.
He's already free, Jericho?
He's out.
He's out, man.
Thank God he's out, right, Jericho?
You want to retract that?
He's out.
But like as of recently, so there's
he's
no
probably
way you would know.
just got out because
Yeah.
he got fucking
He did
slapped
just-
with like 2 charges.
He wasn't
man.
supposed to get out till 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
but-
I guess it's good behavior.
I don't know, parole.
That guy's awesome, man. Fuck with that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's that.
And I feel like, well, I don't know if, I mean, I listen to everything, so, like, I think Fuego is an underrated song.
Oh yeah, my mom loves that song. She's
Yeah.
like salsaing to it.
Right. That's what I feel when I listen to that song. Like, this is
Yeah.
so, like, Latin inspired, right? And
Yeah.
Oh, we know.
And I was like super into saying that like phrase at the time. Like,
Fire?
Fuego.
no, well yeah, Fuego too. That was gonna be our mixtape,
Right.
Fuego. Well, I wanted to do my own EP, and I
Yeah.
wanted it to be Fuego,
Mm-hmm.
but that didn't happen.
Right.
But like at the beginning, where I'm like, "Hey, papi," that I was
Yeah,
like
I'm like,
always
oh.
said that. I don't know why, but and then
Right.
I recorded it, but Sean's like, "What the fuck?"
Well, I thought that was really. It's actually, for me, it stands out one of your better singles, right? So
Yeah, it's more
I was
like
wondering why it's so
poppy.
like late. It was one of your like you don't market
Yeah.
as much as the other one.
Yeah, I don't advertise it really. I don't
Yeah.
know why. There's just so much content.
Yeah, of course. Like when you have all these songs to like
Mm-hmm.
market out there, right?
Yeah.
So like I know you're not on too much to ask for, but I think for me that was a great song. And you're under that banner, so what kept you from being on that, or what? Like
I don't know. We just kind of decided we were gonna like work on our own stuff,
yeah,
do our own separate stuff. Because I released No Limits without him,
yeah,
and then he,
did too much to ask for.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it just
Oh, okay.
he's just been working on his own. I've been trying to set up my home studio,
right.
so.
What's your current situation going on right now? Just going solo, not solo, but doing your own thing for now, and just
Yeah. I'm
writing
working
it
on
yourself.
an album right now that is like halfway done.
Yeah.
It's gonna be called Distortion, and I wanna release it in the fall time.
Right.
It might be earlier, but initially I want it to be fall.
And you're just gonna release it all at once, or you're gonna just like single?
Well, I'm doing like the intro. I'm doing visuals too in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that, and then I want to release that as a
Right.
single, or like a intro kind of preview of what the album's gonna be like.
Yeah.
It's different than not an EP. in my opinion. It's like less poppy, more, I guess, either rappy or just.
It's more
R&B.
just like what you want to do, just like.
I just like trying different stuff. Like there's so many different. Like I love like singing fast, like rapping, I guess, kind of. But then I also love like doing the R&B side. But I also love the pop-ish side. So I'm just a walking paradox.
Are you gonna sing a ballad on this album?
Am I gonna?
You're gonna do a straight ballad.
I guess so now.
Oh, now there's a lot of inspiration going on.
Request.
Called her out, man. Now she has to do ballad.
You made Feels go to the top song,
I
so.
know.
Yeah, you did. Oh, I saw that.
You did. It went from like number 5 to number 1 in like a week.
Yeah,
less than a week.
That's because I sleep to it, so it's easy.
Yeah.
On repeat? Sleep on repeat.
Well, yeah, because when you get feels, you think about other feels. You just keep getting feels. So.
No.
He just feels some type of way.
I think the song should be called Feelings.
Well, you thought it was.
You thought it was called Feelings.
Why you gotta do me like that, man?
That's
Yo, I
just
love
you.
your song Feelings.
I'm like, what did you say?
Oh, thank you.
Is that like part 2 of the song?
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
So anything? Well, you have anything you want to like advertise or upcoming things you want to
Sing a
plug
clip.
or whatever?
Do like a little preview. What you're working on.
Let's not get her on the spot like that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's not.
I don't really have anything I want to advertise right now. I mean, other than not an EP that's out already that we've pretty much advertised already.
It's on SoundCloud, iTunes, and
yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Not an EP, check it out.
But it's PeshxHavs, which is super complicated. Everything else, that's like the Spotify, Apple Music side of things, but the SoundCloud side of things is just Havs or Nicole Haverda. So it's kind of complicated, but I'm sure you'll link it.
Yeah, I'll link it to the pod.
And then I also want to shout out Roya really quick. Her Instagram is Note From Me to You. If you ever need like any kind of graphic design or like visual, she's fucking crazy. She did the cover for Not an EP, and she did the cover for Distortion, like the one that's coming out.
Yeah.
So she's crazy, and like, yeah. So I feel like that's necessary to mention that because I feel like it's very underrated and underappreciated.
So for the audience who hasn't discovered you or hasn't listened to your songs and albums, what do you want to say to them to like? What's your sound and what do you want them to be like? Hey, this is
my
me.
sound. It's whatever you want it to be.
So it's all.
It is though. It's like everything. I don't know. What would you say my sound is? I don't even know. It's like hip hop. It's
right. For
like
me,
any feeling that you have.
Yeah, if
there's
it's
a
lot
song
of
for that.
genres, right? So it's I don't know. It's like
if you're trying to salsa, listen to Fuego. If you're trying to cry, listen to Feels. If you're trying to cry again, listen to Reflecting. If you're like feeling optimistic, listen to Leviathan. No Sleep. I don't know. Like there's like everything.
Meeting a new person and you're excited. High.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. All the
she
feels.
Got it.
Right?
She got
it.
Feels.
Yeah, she knows. She knows.
I got you. I got you.
I just met her and she knows already.
Yeah, no, we understand each other. You're good shit.
Do you have any advice for people or up and coming artists like who want to get into the music business?
I mean, finding like the resources is the hardest part. So if like networking is huge, so just like go to shows and don't be lazy as much as you want to be and just like stay home and watch Netflix. Try to like get out there, go to shows, support other people. Support other artists. Because like that's what I try to do is support like the people that I really fuck with, like the certain local artists. There's so much talent in Winnipeg that I I think is overlooked, and I even overlooked it myself. So, and that's, networking is everything. So. I
agree, networking is definitely everything,
Yeah.
So let's get into social media plugs. I guess Havs, plug all everything you wanna, your Instagram, your social media,
plug everything I wanna plug.
YouTube, everything, just to get everything out there.
Most things, like Instagram is Nicole Haverda. I think most things are Nicole Haverda, except for like Spotify and Apple Music is PeshxHavs.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can't find me, it's probably Nicole Haverda.
Right. Jericho?
Yeah, you know, Team Developmental on Instagram. If you want to follow some
I'm sure you
yoga.
heard it every week.
You want to try some yoga? Right.
Yeah.
Kendall?
Oh yeah, I'm private.
Kendall's private. So
Oh yeah,
You try
Kendall's
following me.
private, yo.
Kendall ML Guinto
yeah,
on Instagram.
He's probably not going to deny you, so whatever.
Most likely.
Janelle, what's your
She's
social
also
media?
private.
I'm also private. It's Janelle_Bean_, but I'm private.
So you're not going to get accepted, guys?
No,
so,
but
especially when I'm around, so there you go.
yeah.
So you can follow me on Instagram, Keeping Up with the Car, Snapchat, Carrutrey, Karruetrey, Facebook, Carguinto. You can follow this and subscribe and like this podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Castbox, and Google Play at guintobros.podbean.com. And this is the Guinto Bros podcast. We'd like to thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. We're out.